I'm about to, like I said, just date on my terms. And like, however I want to move, whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do it. And if it's no longer serving me, I'm gonna move on. Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
That's like his golden slogan for me.
Yeah. And what does that mean for you in relationships when you're like, I'm the prize? What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's like no longer serving me.
Now it's like Steve Harvey is finally waking up to what's been right in front of him this whole time. People are side-eyeing Lori Harvey, saying she's been moving reckless, living flashy with no limits, acting way too entitled for someone who had everything handed to her. What really has people talking is how Steve poured time, money, and energy into Lori, always making sure she shines, while folks online point out his biological kids didn't get that same treatment. That imbalance has people raising serious eyebrows. There were even moments where his son spoke out, saying he felt treated unfairly and that the environment just wasn't right. When questioned, Steve brushed it off like people were trying to turn him against Lori instead of hearing the real concern about favoritism. And now in 2026, he's calling her a brat, the same thing people have been hinting at for years.
It's been hard, man, because her life has had to be played out in the public eye. People don't understand when, like you understand, you have an attractive daughter that's in the light. It'll attract a certain
demographic of men.
Yeah, certain cat, man. And cats that's got more know that they got more to offer so they can come quicker. You know what I mean? So it's been difficult, man, watching her.
Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Now everybody online is like, wait, so now you finally see it too. People are saying what really pushed things over the edge was Lori's high-profile dating history, especially how things ended with Michael B. Jordan. That situation had folks talking heavy, like maybe that's when it finally clicked for Steve. And if you haven't been keeping up, Lori has been trending non-stop these past few days, but not in a good way. The internet is flooded with opinions about her choices, her image, and how she moves in public. People are digging up old interviews, old clips, connecting all the dots, trying to figure out how it got this messy. Just weeks ago, Steve and Michael were spotted chilling at a basketball game, and that alone had people talking.
See, I gotta be real careful, because Lori, boy, she be in my... I can't make no mistakes. I can't make stuff. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere, and I shook his hand. Boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex too. I must hate him like we was dating.
Then right after Michael's big Oscar win, rumors started flying that Lori tried to reach out, and boom, everything exploded online. The timing had people side-eyeing hard, bringing up past drama, calling her out, and dragging Steve into it too, especially since he showed public respect to Michael after the split. Meanwhile, Lori and her mom, Marjorie, were throwing little comments and subtle digs, trying to flip the story and paint Michael like he was the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she ain't no joke. She ain't, and her mama, Marjorie, my girlfriend, she gonna make sure that she doing and navigating the right way, because she gonna make sure that she is. And I think every mother should do that, you know. But I think at the same time, she's young. I think the established relationship that Michael did have before this one, I think that maybe that social media, that all of that was a lot for him. And I think that he, you know, I heard about his ex, and him was so serious that he may have missed her.
But a lot of people online weren't buying it, saying it looked like Lori didn't handle things right behind the scenes, and that only made the chatter louder. What really got people talking was when Steve and Michael were spotted at a basketball game, just relaxed, laughing, like everything was cool. You could clearly see Steve was genuinely happy, fully engaged, and that stood out big time because he hasn't shown that same energy with Lori's other past relationships after they ended. With Michael, though, it feels like that respect never faded, and people notice that instantly. Now it gets even messier. Rumors started spreading that Steve and Lori had a heated disagreement, with Lori allegedly upset that her dad staying friendly with Michael made her look bad. Online reactions were wild, with people saying it sounded like she was trying to control who he could be cool with, and that came off entitled to a lot of folks.
But she's very smart, and everything they say online, I know it's never true. I hate it for her. But I think she's figuring it out now. I hope, and I think she's learned from her mistakes like you want your children to learn from their mistakes. But she's an adult, and I don't get a say-so in it.
And now people are saying this situation might trace back to Steve's own choices, especially how much he gave Lori and how far that went. People are now saying Steve might feel like he let things slide way too easily, giving too much freedom without enough limits. And now he's seeing how that shaped Lori's choices in ways he didn't expect. Online chatter is calling her lifestyle flashy and unpredictable, like there were never strong boundaries set early on. And this didn't just come out of nowhere. Fans keep bringing up that old moment from the Steve Harvey show, where Marjorie was giving Lori advice about taking relationships seriously and not rushing into things.
I think that's bullshit that they said that she wasn't ready, because when a woman finds a good one, then that's what you're looking for. But I will say that she's young still, you know what I mean? And I too was looking forward to them making it, because I thought, oh, you know what? She's been looking for someone to keep on her arm, to be able to have a relationship with that is meaningful and is successful, because we know that the girl gonna keep her somebody that is gonna be newsworthy, you know. But I think,
damn, Lisa Ray.
At the time, it sounded solid, but now people are saying it didn't stick the way it should have. Over the years, Lori's dating history keeps becoming a topic, especially with high-profile names and fast-moving relationships. People online are pointing out patterns tied to status, attention, and big lifestyles. Now the focus is shifting to Steve, with many thinking he wishes he had been more firm and hands-on. There's even talk that things could have turned out very differently with more structure early on, and people are picking up on a tone of regret in his recent comments, which is making everything even more intense. People keep bringing this up again and again. While Lori was getting major attention, resources, and public support, critics online are saying his biological kids didn't seem to get that same level of focus. And that contrast has sparked a whole new debate about parenting, favoritism, and how those choices shape everything over time. And according to what's being said, it wasn't just about distance. Even when Steve was around his biological kids, some critics claim the treatment still didn't feel equal, and that's what really has people talking right now. There's also long-time speculation that Marjorie had a big influence on how Steve split his time and energy.
Well, I know you just started dating this year, so how are we gonna handle that? Okay, no athletes, no rappers. We're gonna go down the list.
When it comes to dating, my mom has nothing to worry about. I got this.
Don't ever try to fit in when God has clearly created you to stand out. Always be a lady. And understand you are the prize. Don't give yourself to anybody that is not going to be your husband. If they love you, if they really care about you, they'll wait on you. Steve and I have been drilling this into our daughters.
Some claims suggest she pushed for more focus on her children, Lori, Morgan, and Jason, even though they aren't his biological kids. One insider even said that after Steve married Marjorie, his priorities seemed to shift fast, with more attention going toward her and especially Lori, while his biological kids felt pushed aside. A source speaking to Radar Online described things as tense behind the scenes, pointing out that balancing 4 biological kids and 3 stepchildren hasn't been smooth at all. To be fair, a lot of people still say Steve stepping up and embracing Marjorie's kids was a positive move, and he's always said he cares about them deeply. But at the same time, there's ongoing talk about serious division in the family, with different sides feeling overlooked or treated differently. And that tension keeps coming up in conversations. Then there's another layer that made things even more complicated. Steve's second wife, Mary, reportedly took legal action years ago, bringing more attention to the family situation. In those claims, it was alleged that Marjorie had influence over Steve's decisions, including issues involving custody of their son, Winton. There were also serious allegations raised about how Winton was treated, which got a lot of public attention at the time. Reports mentioned by TMZ described claims of harsh discipline that caused physical discomfort, with documented marks like bruising and cuts during the investigation. According to what was written in a police report, Winton allegedly told officers the situation was extremely intense and left him dealing with discomfort for days, and that made the entire situation even more serious in the public eye. But here's where things took another turn. Before the situation could fully play out in court, claims started circulating that Steve and Marjorie used their influence and resources to settle everything quietly, shutting it down without further legal action, and that had people asking serious questions about why it didn't go further despite everything that came out. And it doesn't stop there. Another one of Steve's sons, Broderick, spoke up during a sit-down with him, revealing their relationship was almost non-existent for years. He said they didn't really connect until he was around 16, and that shocked a lot of people watching. That moment added even more weight to the conversation about distance in the family. People couldn't ignore how Steve looked caught off guard, almost lost when Broderick said it, and that didn't match the image many had of him. Now, to be fair, most agree Steve handled things financially and made sure his kids were provided for. But the real criticism comes down to presence, with many saying he wasn't around as much as expected, and when he was, there was often tension in those moments. That pattern is something people keep bringing up again and again. Even his twin daughters, Carly and Brandy, have shared that after Steve separated from their mother, his involvement in their lives dropped a lot, at least from their point of view, and that distance only grew over time. But then you look at Lori, and the story feels completely different. She's always spoken highly of Steve and hasn't publicly shared anything negative, and that contrast has people talking heavy. One moment that really caught attention was a video Lori posted while hanging out with Steve. It started off playful, but then she asked him who his favorite person was, and without hesitation, he said it was her. That answer had viewers side-eyeing instantly, especially with all the favoritism talk already out there. Now that clip is blowing up again, with people analyzing every detail and questioning the family dynamic. Lori even talked about their yearly father-daughter outings, showing how close they are, but critics were quick to point out that those moments were never really seen with his biological daughters, and that made everything feel uneven to a lot of people. You can only imagine how all of this looks to the rest of the family watching it play out online. Nobody's saying Steve was wrong for embracing Lori, but things get uncomfortable when people feel like that closeness came at the expense of his other kids. And that's where the real debate starts. The internet has been going off nonstop. One comment even said she carries his last name, but not his DNA, questioning how the whole dynamic looks from the outside. Another pointed out how Steve praises Lori publicly but doesn't highlight his biological daughters the same way, and that had people talking heavy. Now it's turned into a bigger question. With Steve calling Lori spoiled, some are asking if he even has the right, while others say he's finally holding her accountable, even if it's late. So now it's your turn. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment to stay tapped in for what's coming next.